Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is your weekly Sofa Manager Scottish Football podcast. And on this week's show, we've got an extra special bonanza episode for you, where we will be reviewing the Betfred Cup midweek European games, along with previewing the Premiership, Championship, and getting the inside line on what teams have been doing in pre-season across the land, and who to put your money on from expert John. So of course,
that's a strong suggestion.
Well, alongside me for this cornucopia of content is Supermarket Trolley Dolly, Darren Gibson.
Hello, Paul.
Hello, Darren. Your makeup's looking lovely today.
Thank you.
Fitting well in the hills of Spain next week on holiday, so we sadly missed. And then we've got the Brecon-bound Bairn, John Brown.
Hello.
All the alliteration there. You enjoy your day out to Brecon to see the Falkirk Bairn?
That was nice when I eventually got there.
Oh no!
15 minutes later?
Nah, somebody decided to have an accident on Forfar Bridge.
Oh, I thought outside the ground in Brecon the cars might have been stacked for miles.
I say that Brecon hooligan with a wee dog half a
Getting in for free. And I, of course, one of your hosts, Paul, and the worst goalkeeper in the world. Why am I the worst goalkeeper in the world, guys?
Can I keep your girlfriend?
No, well. that's a personal question. It's because I don't save anything, of course. Unfortunately, last week we had some technical difficulties where we recorded a wonderful hour of broadcasting that sadly you'll never hear because it's succumbed to the cloud of dust that is deletion. So hopefully you're hearing us loud and clear this week, and thanks for sticking with us. We did have our debut programme up last week, and if you enjoy the podcast, don't forget to subscribe and listen in every week. It's been a lot. Okay, so let's fire straight in. So, first and foremost, I guess we just start with rounding up the Betfred Cup.
Yay.
So play the jingle. The Betfred Cup Roundup, brought to you by SofaManager.com, the number one place for Scottish League Cup coverage.
So in Group A, Falkirk managed to complete their flawless group performance with a 3-0 win away to bottom side Brecon City, by taking all 12 points and move on to face Livingston, the winners of Group H in the last 16. It was a group stage campaign which seen the Bairns break out the cigars and cruise through each game. And they also ran Stirling Albion lost their second place spot on the last day to Inverness, but their victory was far from impressive.
Oh.
Needing two quick goals in the second half to overturn a 1-0 deficit coming from Oakley and former Falkirk man John Baird.
In Group B, Hearts produced a below pars performance on Saturday, drawing with group leaders Dunfermline in an enthralling 2-2 game live on BT Sport. The future Hearts legend, Cole Stockton, had a chance to win the game from inches out but mysteriously fired high and wide, which sent Hearts crashing out of the competition at the first time of asking. The Hearts fans made their feelings very well known, however, and if it were up to them, I think Cathro would be Levine. Okay, I didn't think that went through. Anyway, take nothing away from Dunfermline. After scoring 13 goals in 4 games, they will go on to face Rangers in the next round. So, difficult round for them, but they've performed excellently in the competition. Runners-up in the group, Peterhead, fall just a few goals short of getting one of the best runners-up spots in the end, so they will rue a 6-0 defeat to Dunfermline at the very start of the campaign, but rounded it off well with a 3-0 victory at Elgin City, whom rounded off the group with East Fife just ahead. In Group C, we had Dundee United's reward for topping the group at Dens Park. On Sunday, it's a fixture away to Dundee at Dens Park. Might sound a little bit familiar. The Terrors, as they would say. Harry Lewis, fortunately, did know how to save the ball, and helped Dundee United bag the bonus point with a 4-3 penalty victory after the 1-1 stalemate. The top 2 places had already been settled before a ball was even kicked on Saturday, with Wraith Rovers finishing strong with 2 victories, beating Cowdenbeath 2-0, Championship star of last season, Lewis Vaughan, on the score sheet early doors. Buckie Thistle sadly picked up nothing in the end, but gave the big boys a good game so they can leave with their heads held high.
In Group D, it's all about Murray for Hibernian, who managed to grab a second combined Murray hat-trick against Alloa and overcame Ross County at the top of Group D. They were rewarded with a home tie with seeded Ayr United. Explain to me how that works. However, Ross County will also be joining them in the second round, who grabbed a vital bonus point in a 0-0 draw with Arbroath. Lol. It was quite a surprise that County couldn't get past Arbroath, but it was a must win. Montrose managed to finish second bottom despite being absolutely annihilated in every game, conceding 15 goals, but they'll be pleased to be ahead of Alloa, not so athletic.
There was a breath of fresh air in Group E as United progressed with an unblemished record and the scalp of fellow rivals Kilmarnock to boot. But Killie have just sneaked in themselves on the right side of the fastest losers this time around, themselves going through to face Celtic, while Ayr United face a tough tie to Hibernian. Clyde were the best of the rest in this group, finishing on 6 points, which was a very respectable total for a League 2 side. They were followed by Annan Athletic, who fell to a 6-1 defeat to the new pros Ayr at the last game of the campaign. And for the second year in a row, Championship side Dumbarton have performed poorly in the competition, despite a number of signings, so no excuses for them this time around. In Group F, Motherwell managed to fend off Rangers in their final game of the Berwick variety with a 1-0 victory as the Old Firm begin to swoop around their star man Louis Moult. They will go on to face Ross County in the next round. Morton's thumping 5-0 win at Edinburgh City, who themselves finished 4th, was too little too late for them, but good to see Jai Quintongo on the score sheet for the first time in a while. Queen's Park bagged 3rd place after some admirable displays, but Iron Brew sadly didn't get them through, with Berwick Rangers propping up the group. It was all academical as to who would win Group G, with last year's Premiership playoff winners Hamilton reaching first spot, but despite having the weakest goal difference of all the group winners. But it doesn't matter how you get there, but this was one of the easier groups. In the next round they will go on to face Aberdeen at home, a bit of a bogey side for Aberdeen, so they'll be happy with that. Albion Rovers pipped Queen of the South to the runners-up spot despite losing the penalty shootout to them, but they were still a few points away from qualifying for the next round. The Lowland League side East Kilbride fared much better than their Highland League counterparts, finishing ahead of Stennismuir with 5 points, so a fantastic effort from them.
In Group H, Livingston had the group sewn up and could rest easy, knowing no matter how the other games went, they would be in the pot for the last 16, and would be drawn out by the magnificent Chris Sutton to play Falkirk. Partick also qualified from the group as one of the best qualifiers of the group stage with 10 points. St Mirren finished in style with a 5-0 victory to compensate the drubbing received from Partick the previous week, which means Jack Ross must be feeling a little bit better knowing that before the league opener with Falkirk and the return of Rory Loy, his team are back firing again.
The Betfred Cup Roundup, brought to you by SofaManager.com, the number one place for Scottish League Cup coverage. Yeah, so there's our Betfred League Cup Roundup.
There we go. Wow, so many things.
I know, most of the jokes written by me.
Couldn't tell.
I know, I'm laughing
ones.
aloud at my own. So no, a few talking points from that. I guess one of the things people were really proud of in the group stages and things, or where they ended up, was as to whether they were seeded or not. I know Falkirk were bragging about it. But the question we now ask, after the draw has happened, is what advantage did you really gain from being seeded?
Well, that's the big thing.
All.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
You're absolutely right. Not a huge amount. In theory, it should have worked quite well. It hasn't for whatever reason. I think the Ayr Hibernian game at Easter Road's the real kicker. Dundee United, again, it's a bit of a sore one for United.
At Dens Park.
Even if it had been at Tannadice, you could have maybe just about accepted it, which is something to look at for next year if they're looking to kind of continually develop the group stage, which overall has been really good.
Yeah, a lot of kind of satisfying conclusions. A lot of kind of that Dundee United game was the perfect down to the wire game. Peterhead will be a bit gutted from that. They were hoping for Dundee United to rout Dundee.
Yeah, or vice versa.
6 goals, and I thought that'd be great. For the fans, not for the Dundee fans, obviously. But yeah, absolutely. I think seeding is almost a disadvantage. At this point in time, and I think I agree with you that home ties is probably the way forward for that next year. Maybe even not seed the teams that haven't competed in like Europe and things like that, because they haven't done the legwork to be there. So
I mean, they're in their league performance the previous season, and that's fine. I can understand why the argument would be against having all seeded teams made as the home team, purely because it gives Rangers, Celtic, Aberdeen and another home advantage in the last 16.
That's true.
That would irritate a lot of people.
Yeah.
Although when you look at the actual tie itself, that's Rangers and Celtic got yet another home tie in the grand scheme of things. So that kind of falls in its sword a little bit. Tweaked a little bit, but overall it's perfectly fine and it was exciting, and I have to say I really enjoyed it.
Look, of course you really enjoyed it.
I loved it.
Falkirk completely stormed to the lead of the group. They
Bossing it.
conceded 1 goal in the entire competition.
There was a sloppy goal at that as well.
Very,
They
very
switched off in the first game.
I think they'll be kicking themselves now.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think they would have been the only team not to concede. I think everybody
Pretty much.
eventually conceded a goal.
That's true, yeah.
I think their goal difference was just 1 or 2 short of being the best in the end. Other teams,
I think it was only Ayr, was it?
yeah.
They were rattling them in for fun.
I think Motherwell were pretty high too, out of memory. So no, absolutely great competition for Falkirk. Much more pleasing than last year's display.
Absolutely.
I think there was less surprises this year in terms of teams storming through. It was all the Premier League big boys.
Yeah, less lower league teams, wasn't it?
Less lower league teams, especially Ayr United of League One, which essentially I think you can now think of as a championship side now that they've gone fully professional.
That's true, yeah.
Down to League One, so expect big things from them this season. But there was one Premiership scalp. Heart of Midlothian falling foul of
Disease.
well, you could argue that.
Dunfermline.
Sadly, not 4 stands to stand in, but they were. It's been a bad week for Hearts. We look at what happened.
It's been a bad 8 months for Hearts. Come on,
I think that's a bit extreme. But you could argue that kind of fizzled out toward the end of last season. But Cathro, after losing 2-1 to Peterhead, up at Peterhead, watch the highlights on YouTube. Great wee stadium. You see over like the wee bay and stuff like that, which is quite interesting. Peterhead made use of their chances when they got them, and it was a silly penalty that won them the game in the end there. And now, it feels almost like a defeat to Dunfermline at the weekend, the 2 each draw. And were you watching the game, Darren?
I was, yeah.
Did you hear the Hearts fans' reaction to a few things?
I did, yes. Not happy.
No. BT microphones are excellent.
They are, yeah. They pick up so much.
They accentuate much of Scotland's atmosphere because it sounds 10 times louder than it is. But there was.
You could even see some of the fans at the end of the game, eh?
Oh,
yeah.
They were staying back and absolutely lambasting.
Yeah.
Cathro, even before the end of the game, people were walking out, and from the performance, do you think that was fair?
I'd say so, yeah.
It's just a culmination of things, really.
It's probably a bit of last season. Then obviously the Hearts fans would have been hoping going into the new season something a bit different, but it looks like the same mistakes coming from Hearts.
I know there was a lot of hype, and we'll get to it a bit later in our Premiership preview, but a lot of hype from the fans expecting to beat the big teams this year.
Yeah.
And I guess now that they've got their own money behind the team, there's a little bit more expectation there.
There's even more of a vested interest, literal investment into that club. So they're expecting a return on the park, and they're not getting it.
No.
And that's an issue. That's a real issue.
I think for me, the performance, there was a lot of lazy play from players that just didn't look motivated enough.
They've got no real creativity anywhere in that midfield. Even without Jimmy Walker, the argument was made of why he wasn't even on the bench. If his head's not in it, fair enough, don't start him. Fair play. But if you're 2-1 down to Dunfermline, you need a Jamie Walker to get you out of that hole.
And right out the squad, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. They didn't really have that kind of pacey wide man. But I thought Cathro is handling the Walker situation pretty badly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's one thing I wouldn't criticise him at. Because I don't think he's handling it. I think that's a Levine issue. Because he ultimately, Levine deals with football matters external to the first team, which the Jamie Walker transfer must fall under.
Yes.
So he will be dealing with that, and it's his prerogative to ultimately find a conclusion to it, whether he stays or whether he goes.
But then, to come out and say before the match that Walker's mentally not in the right place and that
that's how I felt, yeah.
I don't think it's the correct way to motivate him to stay, and this I think now signals there's no way back for him, be it whether he's sold to Rangers or whether he's stuck there for the next year or so.
I mean, one thing you don't really hear is actually the Rangers side off this, as to whether they're interested or not. There's nothing really.
Oh, they are.
You never hear much kind of commentary coming out from that. It's all Hearts are saying this, Hearts are saying that about the Jamie Walker situation.
Yeah.
There's very little to actually suggest it's all Rangers and how much they're paying or anything like that.
I think we've seen Kashinya at Hearts games because you've got nothing better to do.
Well,
sorry. Cut that, I'm a neutral. So, and also I think that, what was the rumour? I think 600,000 was kind of Hearts saying $1 million.
That's outrageous, £1 million for Jamie Walker.
It's different. Well, Hayes at 1.3 million. Does that not start to put things into perspective? But, we won't get into
money's these days. You just you
especially
can't be surprised with anything these days.
Yeah. Money back. I was told last year that there's no way Rangers would pay 10 million for a road. They didn't have the money. £11 million later. Anyway, we'll discuss that a little bit later on. But Cathro also come out today and saying that his career at the club's not up for discussion. He's being very bullish, as he usually is when he's under pressure.
Extremely arrogant in his interview with the BBC after the game. Media handling is not his forte, I don't think.
What's his 30?
20's plenty.
But so Cathro is now under a lot of pressure just because of 2 bad games.
Oh no, it's a lot more than that.
I think it's a bit last season too.
There's an extreme hangover from last season.
There is, and I think this kind of picked up. But we saw the end of that 2-2 draw, Hearts and Dunfermline, that Anne Budge and Craig Levine were straight out the door.
Straight off, yeah.
So as to you guys were saying earlier as to whether they just forgot there was penalties or there was.
It came across like that.
Well, Anne Budge was smiling away.
Yeah.
Just like, maybe got a point there.
I don't know, but do you think Levine now is his head on the chopping block?
Levine's head is absolutely on the chopping block from a fan's perspective. Boardroom level, he's fine. He's absolutely bulletproof.
But then I think they were saying that the Cathro appointment must have had a lot to do with him.
All to do with him.
So doesn't he kind of fall by the sword on what Cathro does to a certain extent?
Yes, and he is directly linked. And their excuse for the kind of boot room model of you bring through a coach through into the kind of management kind of arena with Levine above them. You had it through Robbie Nielsen, you had it through Gary Locke. Look how that turned out.
The Gary Locke effect, as John likes to say.
The Gary Locke effect, exactly. Well, this is it. This is just the next step of Gary Locke effect.
Is he still haunting the club? And
he's in the development side doing some coaching, I'm sure, Gary. Yeah.
That's why they knocked down the new stand. There was still an aura about him there, and they needed to rebuild.
A whiff of the lock.
So, other shocks. I guess it was just championship teams, really. St Mirren, Morton, Inverness with kind of relatively poor campaigns.
Yeah, Inverness in particular kind of went out in a whimper, really.
And what was a relatively easy group in the end, aside from Falkirk, you would have expected them to take maximum points.
I mean, with having home advantage against us, you would have expected them to top the group. I expected them to top the group. We would have been doing well to finish
I'd
second.
agree with that. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So that was a bit of a shock in how easily we won that game.
I know, it all looked so good after the first game under John Robertson, winning 4-0, and then just really lacklustre in the last few games there. Morton, kind of stars of last year's competition, struggling back to get a draw against Queen's Park. That's it's not what you'd expect of a team like that.
At all.
We have to give huge credit, I guess, to Ayr United, who've, I think, the standout, I guess, of the group stages.
Superb, yeah.
Taking full points as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
12 points.
It's only them and Falkirk.
So unbelievable. The move to full-time football's come a year too late. As far as the relegation from the Championship is concerned. But to beat Kilmarnock as well, what a time for the fans.
That was a great start.
Yeah, it was perfect timing as well on it. The very first game, but our fitness levels and stuff made it an even contest in terms of just having 11 guys. But 11 aside, no real talent on show, to be honest. It wasn't a great game. A win's a win for Ayr though. So
do you think we should maybe, in the future, again we've talked about the kind of draw and arranging it a bit more so there's advantages, but would you like to see almost derbies kind of ensured in these group stages, or does that get a bit repetitive if you're in the same group?
That could get repetitive. I think the regional system as it is perfectly fine. There's one or two kind of quirks, like Edinburgh City were in the south section, yet Hibs and Hearts were in the north.
Yeah,
that in itself was a bit strange.
I thought that.
Sort of Berwick Rangers were in the south, even though they're probably closer to being like an Edinburgh based side. Strange.
I think Falkirk being in the north, you were basically going to Brecon, Inverness sort of way.
Yeah, it was all minimum an hour and a half.
They were kind of coming to Central Belt. It was kind of up and down ping ponging. But that's just Scottish football. There's
yeah.
nothing in between, unfortunately.
It's just pure geography, really. You can't get around it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it works out perfectly fine. Falkirk can avoid all the kind of Glasgow sides because we end up playing most of them during the season anyway. There's been nothing worse than having to play Paisley, St Mirren for an hour.
Paisley Football Club is there.
Well, Paisley Panda.
Well, Paisley 2020 Arena. So sounds way more fancy than it is.
Horrible. It's one of the worst stadiums in Scotland. I was there on Saturday.
I know. So I guess that sadly rounds off our Betfred coverage for the moment. We've committed to the group stages like no one else in the country podcast-wise. So if you enjoyed, give us a like. Also like to mention one of our commenters in the weeks gone by, Gary Cheshire. The only thing he was looking forward to this season was to see if Cole Stockton was any good. I think you've answered your own question now, Gary, after that performance at the weekend.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, unfortunately. So I guess that moves us on. Shuffle our papers to our Premiership preview. Scotland's big leagues with terrible minnow teams still. So the way we're going to work through this is we're just going to predict who's going to finish where. I think starting from the bottom, working our way to the top.
I like that.
From the bottom, and now we're here. Is how I'll finish this. Essentially. So I'll start at 12. Do you want I'll say it at once? 3, 2, 1.
Ross County.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I expected us all to say Hamilton. So why do you think Ross County, Darren?
I've just looked at their form in the Betfred Cup. I've not been convinced by them really. And then I did think last season they were starting to tail off towards the end of the season. Yeah, it was the end of the season, but I still did start to think that they're not looking great. And then I've looked at the Betfred Cup and I've thought, yeah, they've probably been on par with Hibs, but then I think Hibs will get better. Ross County, I don't look at that squad or that team and think, yeah, they've got loads of talent there to get them up the league.
I would absolutely agree with you. In terms of quality, that squad is short of names. Watching the Hibs game in particular was pretty drab.
It was very defensive.
Yeah.
I think that was more to kind of counteract Hibs than it was a kind of compliment on Ross County. I think they'll be fine. I think it's all to do with Hamilton, really.
Oh yeah, I mean, before we round off the
don't get me wrong, Hamilton's like second bottom for me.
I think for me, Michael Gardine will be a huge player for Ross County this season.
I think so. They should be okay. I think Jim McIntyre is actually quite a good manager.
Oh yeah.
And Roy McGregor has an infinite amount of money that if they're really struggling in January,
buy their way out of it.
They'll buy their way out of it, no problem.
I think signing Billy Mackay. Is it Billy Mackay?
Yeah, it was.
There's too many
Billy Barrys
and Mackays and
Mickey and Mackay. And
Billy King is the guy I'm thinking about. There's too many Billies in Scottish football. If he can pick up,
there really is.
No, I don't. I don't mean that. But if he can pick up the mantra, I think they're okay. So to Hamilton, John, why do you think they'll be bottom?
They're hopeless. They're a horrific Betfred Cup campaign.
They're qualified.
Oh my god, look at that group.
They won the group. I think they had the worst stats.
There was a strong feeling that they did not want to progress. I don't think anyone in that group wanted to really go through.
Quite possibly.
So they've been rewarded with a home tie with Aberdeen. So actually, there might be scope for them to get into the quarterfinals. But Canning. Ian Herry had a reasonably good kind of squad when he started, and over the kind of time he's been there, it's getting sort of more and more depleted. I think he's only brought in maybe one or two players. In the whole time. The whole summer, whereas everyone else kind of at least sort of brought in fresh faces. So yeah, they're the ones for me. Trapdoor beckons.
Yeah, I would agree. I like Canning. I think he organises his teams well. Donati staying on for another year is a kind of big coup for them. Battling $2,000 a week, which is
that right?
Pretty hefty for
That's a huge wage for him.
Like that.
That's true, actually.
But yeah, in kind of previous seasons, finished 11th last season, 10th. And then 7th in 2014-2015. How on earth did they do that? I'll never know. But yeah, I think a lot of people have been lauding that they've signed quite a good keeper. I think Fulton from Liverpool.
Yep.
But I think any keeper at Hamilton's going to shine just because there's going to be heaps of shots pounded your way.
Oh, pretty much.
That's true. Yeah.
I thought they looked well organised last season, but kind of were a bit unlucky. But then after a while, you question whether it's something else and not just luck. But held on to Ali Crawford over the summer, which is good.
That's key for them. Yeah.
So they'll be down there battling.
Yeah, there's no question.
Sticks us on to 11th position. John, who do you have in 11th?
Might have Motherwell.
Oh, intriguing. Who do you have, Dan?
I had Hamilton, just to be a wee bit different from you.
There you go. Covered Hamilton. I had Dundee. So, we're all different.
We're all different.
So why did you put Motherwell down in
I think
11th?
It's only inevitable that Louis Moult disappears. They haven't really been firing all cylinders in the Betfred Cup.
Just storming.
I mean, come on, but 5-1 against Queen's Park, fair enough.
Yeah, it's been a relatively easy group.
Struggled past Edinburgh City as well, which is a bit.
What was it, 1-0 in the end or something? It was
1-0.
a slim margin.
They scraped a 2-1 against a smaller side as well. They did beat Morton 4-0, and that maybe should be a better indication as to where they're at. But I think
Morton have been mints, so
exactly.
Yeah.
We'll get to that eventually, I'm sure. But no, Motherwell for me, I think slowly but surely they've been kind of creeping down more and more. And it's getting there.
It's very much a new look side. I think 9 signings in total.
Yep.
5 of them started, in the Betfred Cup game. None of them look at anything special apart from your pal, which I'll pronounce well, Bigirimana, former Newcastle man. I think he was playing League 2 last season or something.
I think so, something like Coventry, something like that.
So he looks like he could be a shining light after they lost a few good players in the summer. Ainsworth, one of their kind of main star men. And, for me, I've got them in 10th. So
right, so he's not too far off.
Just the position above, because I think Moult will go.
Oh, there's no question.
I think he will.
They promised that this was a stepping stone for Moult, and I think Motherwell have a habit of just holding on that bit too long.
They're holding out for more money, and I think that has a partial bearing on them having fans on the board. So they'll obviously have not an inflated evaluation, but they'll want a realistic
I think
value.
It was told it was a stepping stone for him. You were just holding him back.
Yeah.
And I think McDonald had a good move on the table in January for going to Australia.
That fell through.
Well, it didn't fell through. They just didn't let him. And you think of the lifestyle choices and things, you kind of have to think about your players. I still don't know what to think about manager Stephen Robinson. He's not a big name.
No, I mean, honestly, I couldn't tell you who Motherwell's manager was until you mentioned his name.
Well, there you go. I think that's his biggest problem there. So, who did you have in 10th, guys?
I had Kilmarnock.
Killie, oh.
Yeah.
Well, I had Dundee.
Right. Well, we'll talk about Dundee, because I think it was last time. Why did you put Dundee at 10th, John?
I think they may struggle a little bit. I'm saying that, though, after watching them in the Dundee derby this afternoon, day of recording, they looked not bad. There was one or two players that stood out for good reasons and bad reasons. Like the Musa up front, I think he's a
flash in the pan.
He is a flash in the pan. He's play acting. He's kind of antics are a bit like you're a bit of a showboater.
Yeah.
As soon as his confidence hits the deck, that'll be him.
I think Haber was actually playing well towards the end of the last season. Someone has slated at the transfer window for scoring 0 goals. So I'm actually surprised they've gone with him over the last week. But yeah, as you say, that's actually quite a strong squad they put out today. I think one of their players, Mark O'Hara, probably one of the more exciting young players in Scotland.
He looked good. I thought he looked good. The guy in the wing, I forget his name.
Scott Allen?
No, Scott Allen was good, but the guy on the other side, name's passed me. He looked okay, but again, I think he's one of these kind of confidence players that, one or two other crosses that don't pan out, he'll disappear.
I think the big issue with him today was that Dundee United were easily dealing with the crosses. It was kind of
pretty much
too short until Dutchman Rodney Walters comes on.
He looked a good player, admittedly.
I've never seen crosses in strength of running.
Yeah, he was really good. Actually.
With him and Allen on either wing, I think that could be a really exciting.
I don't doubt their sort of build-up play. It's who finishes it. Musa, he might turn out to be great, he might not. And I would absolutely not sort of put my money on Bagtui to score. No. He looked horrific.
He's been on a downward trend ever since his kind of Dunfermline move.
Yeah, he was good in League One.
He was good at that level, yeah.
Aye. I absolutely agree with your point. Is who's going to be the end of it? Because at the end of the day, they drew 1 each with Dundee United, who were sitting back for the draw.
Very much.
Dundee United kind of held them quite easily, and I think it'll be similar to last season, where there'll be high-scoring victories because their attack looks good, and then some defeats. And I think mentally it's going to be tough because McCann's already had to. I think after their performance against East Kilbride, Bucky Thistle.
Bucky
Thistle.
Yeah. He took a day off them, and I think there's a lot of that to come.
Every chance, aye.
Yeah, and I think he'll maybe realise that the quality's not there in them to get that out. So yeah, I'd agree that they'd be on that end of the table.
Yep. I'm curious why you're saying Kilmarnock in 10th.
Kilmarnock, well, it was either going to be them or Motherwell, and I put Motherwell above them because they still had Moult, but then I know they're going to lose Moult probably. But
They're going to
then
look foolish in 2 weeks.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When the window closes
Still
and
there.
Moult signs a 4-year contract extension at Motherwell.
But Kilmarnock, I just picked them because I'm not convinced that, like, I know they brought in Chris Burke there, but I'm not sure, like, all these ex sort of Rangers players are are really going to save them, so
Worst Rangers legends going.
and I know Lee McCullough done okay last year, but for a full season, will he actually live up to the bill? I'm not sure.
I had Kilmarnock in 9th.
Did you? That's interesting.
Only one place above.
Well, if you're going to go for 9th, I had Ross County. So
Well,
I had Motherwell also.
I think Kilmarnock, I don't know. I think McCullough's a great motivator.
Yeah,
I don't think he's a tactician.
that's how I feel. Yeah.
I mean, I would, if Lee McCullough was my manager, I think I'd be too pish for him not to
you'd
put
be scared.
any effort in.
You would,
So
yeah.
It was Andy Little, I think, on the radio, who was too scared to claim a goal off him.
Yeah.
'Cause he was
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I
he was
remember.
just take him out. I think some interesting players there. He's defending Chris Boyd to the hilt, who's come under some kind of criticism recently. Still scoring the goals,
That's it.
so you can't argue it. But team needs to be playing well behind him, and the defeat off air, I think, set the tone for their League Cup campaign.
I mean, they picked back up almost straight away. Fair play to them.
Mm-hmm.
I think they will be fine. I mean, Lee McCullough's got a big job in his hands, no question. But
Absolutely.
his recruitment's been quite good, actually. I think he's done okay. If he brings in Gordon Greer as well, that's
So is that they're looking at?
that's a really good kind of centre back pairing with him. And
That would be good. Yeah.
Broadfoot.
pace may be an issue,
Yeah,
admittedly,
pace.
but in terms of dealing with your kind of bread and butter defending, they're okay.
Was Cammy Bell another one too? I heard.
Cammy Bell, maybe.
Yeah.
Dundee United, I think, are desperately trying to shift him, and after the performance of their keeper Lewis today,
Yeah, that's true.
why not?
Yeah.
Kilmarnock actually finished pretty high last season, 8th.
I fancy them to finish in the same position.
8th last, yeah. No reason not to. I don't think they've necessarily not improved. I've totally forgotten the word. It's the anti that.
Yeah.
Static.
Aye. So, good luck to them. So, who did you have in 9th, John?
Ross County.
Ross County. Okay, discussed them already. Who did you have in 9th then?
9th was Motherwell. Covered them.
So Kilmarnock for me. So we've all got the same team.
I think between 8th and 12th, it'll be that combination.
Yes.
And there will be a significant gap up to 7th.
Very much so.
I think it will be close.
So,
8th, I've got Partick Thistle.
ooh, okay.
Yeah, I think.
I was the same.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
we're on the money, Darren. I think we're
Did you not watch them tear apart St Mirren?
yeah, but that was St Mirren, and I don't expect good things from St Mirren. So.
Well,
I've predicted them to win the championship. You'll find that. No, that's not the case. I just think that it was a bit of a fluke last season. Not a fluke. I just think they had a good season.
okay.
If you look at the results, 6th, 9th, 8th, and 10th, so they're generally a bottom 6 side in the SPFL. And yes, they rose to that top 6 for the first time ever.
Aye.
Ever. And I think the loss of Liam Lindsay, they replaced him with Keown. It's not Niall Keown, is it?
Aye, it's the nephew of Lee Keown.
Is it Niall Keown? Have I made that up? It's Keown, something like that. He's not as good as Lindsay. Flat out.
Yeah.
Lindsay
was the key man for them.
But they did sign Blair Spittle, who looked quite promising.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Spittle looks great. I think a lot of people in the Premiership are waiting for him to prove himself a bit because his time at Dundee United in the Premiership, wasn't so great. I think us seeing him in the Championship, we would say, no, he's a great player. So from wide, how much can he influence that? But with the front man Chris Doolan, who's one of the most prolific men in the league, and an absolute stalwart of that team, he's practically in the ground there. Well, he's not dead.
That's a poor analogy.
That was bad.
He is ingrained in the fabric of what Partick is.
Absolutely.
And again, their manager Alan Archibald, a lot of interest from a few teams. He's stayed. I think the longest serving manager in the Premiership now. So
Must be near enough.
where do you have them placed, John? Out of interest?
I'll have them in the top 6. I think they'll hang on.
Well, a lot of consistency there again. Just lost kind of one or two players over the time.
Yeah, I just felt that they would drop back into the the bottom six again this year. I felt personally it was a one-off last year, so I think that'll happen.
And they've lost Liam Lindsay, David Amu, I don't even know his point. And Adebayo Aziz, who's actually still in Glasgow because he ran someone down. So
watch out.
Yeah, very much so. Has he signed for someone? No, he signed for Cambridge. A few of them signed for Cambridge actually. That's a very pedestrian-friendly city, so hopefully he won't have a car. We'll wait and see.
He's a driving winger.
We'll wait and see. Who did you have in 8th, John?
8th place I had Kilmarnock.
Kilmarnock. So
7th place.
Ross County for me.
I had Dundee, which is high up, I know.
After the way I see the squad of Dundee, I can see why you said that. What do you think, John? 7th?
Oh, dear, have St Johnstone.
Ooh.
Nothing lasts forever.
But look, they're the most consistent. 2016-17, 4th. 2015-16, 4th. 2014-15, 4th. You know where they finished in 2013-14?
4th by any chance?
6th.
What's that?
Sorry, Darren. And then they finished 3rd in 2012-13.
Nah.
It's Mr. Consistent of the league, John. You know, how can you have them in the bottom 6?
I don't think they'll make it. There's one or two kind of warning signs here. They lost. Is it
Danny Swanson?
Danny Swanson went to Hibs.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't really recruited all that great. I don't really know what kind of state Michael O'Halloran's going to be when he comes back. However, the big elephant in the room is how long can they hold on to Tommy Wright? Because he is the miracle maker.
Very much so.
And if Cathro gets the sack, you'll never believe he'll be top of that list.
Oh, really?
I reckon so.
I think his stock will have dropped dramatically after the European.
I would ignore that because just let's face it, it's a Scottish side in Europe.
That's true, yeah.
I can't see Tommy Wright going to England. There's a stigma amongst goalkeepers being managers, but
He's a goalkeeper.
he used to be a goalkeeper, yeah. But I do think if Cathro gets the sack, Levine will go with him. Therefore, there's a whole manager, assistant manager vacancy available at Hearts. Tommy Wright would be perfect for that.
His team.
And therefore, St Johnstone begin to kind of lose.
I do
dynasty.
see where you come from, yeah. I do see where you come from. Because I had St Johnstone 6, so I did feel that they'd be slipping back a bit this year, from your point that it doesn't last forever. But I thought, they're really good at getting top 6 finishes, so that's why I put them into 6. So I had them borderline, basically.
Yeah.
I had them 5th. So, just ahead. I think they'll slip back slightly, just because the quality of the teams in the league is going up. But
yeah.
I think Swanson's been a huge loss to them pre-season, and I kind of fully expect O'Halloran to fill that gap.
Possibly. I still think goals is an issue for them.
Yeah, I feel that too. Yeah.
We'll see if O'Halloran can be that. I thought he's actually played all right when he's played at Rangers. But he didn't get many chances, and then he started getting chances when they were trying to sell him in January, which was completely and utterly bizarre.
And he'll get first team football there.
So
you know what I mean. So that's what I mean. So
I think their squad is maybe not as deep as others in the top 6, and I think a few of their new signings like Scott Tanser, Stefan Skohol. I think Skohol looks alright. Tanser, not so much. And the loss of Tam Scobie.
I wouldn't worry about that.
He's a good backup.
I was impressed with the way he played today. We'll come back to that a bit later, as I say. So I think 5th for me. They're just a top 6 side, quintessentially. Which I guess takes us nicely on to the top 6.
6, yeah.
I don't think we've heard anyone's 6th team yet, have we?
Mine, St Johnstone.
Ah, okay. Okay, I'm just ignoring it.
I'll wait for Partick. So.
Oh yeah,
I
I passed
for
it.
Hearts.
Hearts. Oh, that's interesting.
Come on.
They got beat of Peterheads, John.
With Cathro in charge.
Yes.
He's not going to be there forever.
Well, but how long is he going to be there?
I must say, I did think about 6 for Hearts, but then I thought if they change manager, maybe 5th. So funny enough, I put them into 5th.
Well, you're thinking ahead.
Yeah.
That's crap thing. I think for me, the way they ended last season was abysmal. Like St Johnstone were running away from them at a rate of knots. And they were just dropping. And it's a very different squad. And they very much got rid of the trash from last season. I mean, I looked at my list here. There is a number of names. Billy King gone to Dundee United. Sam Nicholson to Minnesota. That's a bit of a bummer.
That's a shocker.
I saw their bottom, their MLS.
Yeah, well, this is their first season as a club.
Leonard Sowa.
The left back.
Perry Kitchen out the door.
That's a big loss.
That's a loss, yeah.
Really?
I think so, yeah. Definitely to have in your squad too.
I don't think he was the right man to kind of captain the squad at the very least. But
I don't think there would be a personality clash between him and Cathro for sure.
He would never have been captain with Berra there either.
That is
no, that's true.
And that's kind of the point, is they got rid of the Greeks as well, and they've just brought in more established kind of household names, your Laffertys, your Berras, Cole Stockton. we'll skip over that. So I think it's a much stronger lineup than it was last year. Jordan McGee now back as well, who's a bit on and off with Hearts. But
Suter coming back from injury. I think they'll be a lot higher than 6th. But again, I don't think Cathro will be there for much longer, so I'm basing it on that.
Yeah, I think...
You're taking a snapshot of the now if you want to say they're going to finish 6th.
But you look at their first 4 games of the season are away from home.
No point, absolutely.
Yeah, they're going to really struggle picking up points. And I know it's for building, the stand, which... It's kind of weird that they're having their first 4 games away when they've still been building it while playing all these pre-season games and stuff.
It's a bit weird.
A bit crazy. So I think, a start like that could really kill a team. And Cathro will probably get a little bit of sympathy.
No.
Well, for the first 4 games away from home.
If they get beat any more than 4-0 off Celtic, if he's still in the job by that time, he'd be done.
The crazy thing is the opening game last year, they were actually very unlucky not to beat Celtic.
Well,
which would have put a very different tint on the season.
That's true. I don't think it'll be like that this year.
I hope so. Just beat Celtic early doors, please. Let's get this run over and done with, so the rest of us can move on and not be stressing about it. So we'll wait and see. My 5th place team was St Johnstone, we've already discussed. Who was your 5th place team?
Mine was Hearts.
Hearts. Who was your 5th place?
I'll wait for Hibs.
Hibs. Ooh. We'll come to Hibs a little bit later, I think, since Darren's got them higher as well. Who do you have 4th, Darren?
Fun enough, Hibs. Hibernian.
Right, okay, there's no avoiding it anymore.
I had Hearts as 4th.
Oh, right.
You got Hibs as well. It's 4th.
I have Rangers 4th.
No,
Controversial.
I'm not feeling that.
I think I've got Hibernian 3rd. So let's talk Hibs. 'Cause we're in the ballpark. We're in the 3 positions. It starts getting tight here though, because these are the positions that matter. You don't buy it.
There's no way Hibs are finishing 3rd. Come on.
Look at the way they played against
Rubbish.
Aberdeen in the Cup semi-final last year.
No way you can base it on that.
Why?
No way.
Is the team better or worse than it was then?
It's about the same.
It's better. It's better.
Yeah, I feel it's better.
If you're having to rely on Effie Ambrose as your centre back, then you're really on a hiding it
They have
nothing.
other options. David Gray can be brought into the middle.
Right back. Pottyker could play centre back. Nah.
Whittaker's been looking good pre-season.
He played one reasonably good game.
I know.
And he was very quiet
That's
against
what
Ross
pre-season
County.
does, John.
The reason... sorry, John.
Ross County showed exactly how to defend
Oh,
against
she's
Hibs.
interrupted.
Sorry, John.
Oh yeah, no.
So
that
in itself showed that Hibs are really going to struggle to break down teams who'll sit in. And that's points lost.
What can we really take from Betfred Cup games,
I mean, realistically, all of it. Like, you can see who's progressed quite well during pre-season and who hasn't.
What's your thoughts, Dan?
Okay, definitely. Well, I was just about to say, so I think Hibs, obviously it's the first season back, so that's why I never put them any higher than 4th, because I felt, well, first season back, I did think that they'd be higher up than Hearts, obviously with Cathro, but at the same time he'll probably get the sack, so it could be close between the two. But I never had them any higher than 4th because of that reason, really, because it's their first year back, and I think Neil Lennon will do a really good job there. I think they've got a good squad, as you said. I think they've got a better team than last year. So I do expect good things from them, but I feel 4th is the highest that they'll get.
Where did Hearts finish when they got promoted?
Finished 3rd.
Third? Am I thinking?
Was it 3rd, yeah?
It was 3rd.
Yeah.
Oh, there was no Rangers in that.
Yes, it was 3rd. There was no Rangers in that. Rangers, I've got them 4th. Right there as well. But yeah, I think, their signings have been good. Simon Murray. Although I wasn't that impressed with him in the Ross County game, he has been scoring goals elsewhere.
Like I say, County showed exactly how to defend against Hibs. You just sit back. You let them, if you limit the space at the back, they can't break you down. They don't have the
Nobody will be able to
capability.
break you down if you do that.
Yeah, exactly. So you just sit back and let them.
But then if everyone in Scotland did that, it'd be 0-0 draws week in, week out, which is what is the Scottish Championship.
But a slightly better side going forward, we will counter. County couldn't do that. They struggled, but
I think it's just a strong squad throughout the team, midfield, attack, defence.
I know it was just the Betfred Cup, but Simon Murray, how many goals was it he got? Like 7 in the tournament?
I don't think it was quite that.
Was it
if you
not,
combine Murray and
But
Murray,
it was a lot.
it was like 7.
Well, yeah, that's true.
It's not Ian Murray. What is his name?
Fraser.
What?
Fraser.
Fraser Murray.
Aye.
He's actually coming off the bench and scoring quite a lot of goals, so good on him. So I don't think the loss of Cummings is going to be that big a deal to them, actually. There's a lot of split opinions as to whether Cummings was actually any good.
He was a good finisher. He was quite a good player. He can't really. The one thing that'd be interesting about Hibs though, until the transfer window closes, they've still got the capability of bringing in one or two more players.
If they get Stokes,
It changes some things. I think he's a better finisher.
well, he'd get more goals than Murray. I have no doubt
Yes.
about that.
Yeah, I think it would.
I still think they need a kind of winger to complement McGinn.
Well, McGinn's been kind of playing in the centre of the park.
Yeah, I mean, Danny Swanson didn't look great. That's what I'm trying to get. They need someone to kind of link their kind of attacking force going through the middle.
Yeah, I think they need another midfielder.
Yeah, I don't think Swanson's good enough.
Well, I mean,
He was good in the bang average St Johnstone side, and he stood out, but
he's not necessarily been letting it up this time around, and is not even really featured in the starting lineup. He's not like one of the first names on the team sheet even.
I mean, what I'm getting at here is if Liam Henderson suddenly becomes available at Celtic, that's a perfect fit.
Every possibility. If they
Be a
can
good
twist their
sign.
arm.
Yeah.
Or even Chris Commons, if he comes back from his back
I
injury.
think-
The rumour was that he was going to go there.
He said that if or when he comes back, Hibs is where he wants to.
Yeah.
Whether a player that will really propel you up the league, I don't know. But I just think Lennon is a fantastic manager who they're actually very, very lucky to have. Looking at what he did with a Celtic team that was very much underfunded, and he got the greatest success in their recent Champions League sort of history out of a squad that was basically Championship level, English Championship.
Yeah.
Sorry, is what I mean by that. So in third, shall you say in unison? 3, 2, 1.
Rangers.
Oh, thanks, Darren.
Aberdeen.
You're kidding.
Good man.
That's why,
Yeah,
that's
idiot
why I
Darren,
was
right.
waiting, because I didn't want to say in unison.
Get
because I
out of
wanted
this
you to hear
room!
that.
Get out of this room right now! You're having a laugh.
Because I knew you were going to say that, and that's why I wanted to wait and say it.
You're on the wind up.
Because
You're on the wind up.
I think right, read your stats out, right? Go for that.
Right, 2016-17 Aberdeen second. 2015-16 Aberdeen second. 2014-15 Aberdeen second. Do you know where they finished? 2013-14
Last.
third.
Third.
And then 8th in 2012-13. I was banging the rubbish days where we weren't a top 6 side.
Yeah. Well, I just think Rangers will. Yes,
They'll
they're going to
sack
struggle
Cachinha
with.
from day one.
I thought. Well, yeah, I think he'll be away by December, January, and I think Rangers will at last hopefully do the right thing and bring in a decent manager, a Scottish manager, or something like that. And it'll turn around, and I think they will get better.
Depending on who's due better.
But yeah, no, I think
Pretty much.
I think Rangers will do better this year, even though at the moment we're looking at Rangers and we're thinking they're playing terrible and they're out of Europe, so on. But a lot of things can change, and I think over the course of the full season, I think Rangers might. Don't get me wrong, I don't think there'll be a lot in it between Aberdeen and Rangers.
I do.
But I'm sure you do. But I do feel that Rangers will just get that second spot and no more.
Okay.
This year.
Argument held.
Yes.
Good valid point. What do you think, John? You obviously have Rangers in third.
I have Rangers third.
I have Rangers in third as well. Fourth, sorry.
I think you're kind of off the mark.
I know.
Rangers.
Well, I've got Hibernian
Yeah,
in third.
Hibs.
Yeah,
So,
right.
you can,
an unusual position.
doesn't he like Hibs? So yeah, your thoughts on Rangers, John?
I don't think Cachinha will last all that long. I don't think his players will suit Scottish football, especially when the weather gets kind of bad. The pitches get really quite torn up, so that's an issue to kind of look at. Again, I think Celtic will annihilate them, and that kind of brings its own issues from the stands. So yeah, I think they're going to have another kind of almost their season. But following that, if they get a decent manager in around about Christmas time, if and when Cachinha gets the bullet, then there's there is
Not
scope
in Glasgow, you never know.
Well,
I think for me, that squad's not any better than it was last year.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, they haven't really improved it. They've brought in a lot of bodies, a lot of foreign players that you know nothing about,
Yeah.
and they all look very interesting. But they're third-rate foreign players.
Well, they're looking right.
That's
They're-
an issue.
They're bringing in Ryan Jack, second-rate Aberdeen
Bang
player.
average Aberdeen player.
They're wanting Kenny McLean, who I don't rate
No.
that much as an Aberdeen player. Some
No.
people do, but he's damn
He's
inconsistent
alright.
and
Yeah.
doesn't score half as many goals as he should. They're looking to bring in Jamie Walker. You're telling me Jamie Walker's better than Barry Mackay?
Well,
You know-
there is that,
No,
like
he's
that.
not. No.
And they're wanting more money for Walker than Mackay. So
Yeah, that's true.
that's a McDaft decision. The strikers, that was one of the huge issues last year. Is Kenny Miller was the only man that could score any. Waghorn's still there by
Yeah.
some miracle. again by a miracle, they got more than £1 million for the man with the head bandage on his head.
It's not Windass, is it?
It's not Windass, who's still there. Jeez.
I think he's doing that.
His name will come back to me.
Joey
Gardner.
Joe
There
Gardner.
you go.
Aye, exactly.
Joey
You just needed a song prompt. You're all big Huns inside. I'll bleep that. So, I think, yes, they've signed, Eduardo Herrera as another striker.
Yep, and that Morelos, I think, was a striker.
Morelos apparently has
I
been
think-
mince in the friendlies.
Yeah.
I think Dorrans will be a good signing. And with these foreign guys, I think Alves will be a good signing in defence.
Bruno Alves is the back, yeah.
Alves,
Bit of a
sorry.
chance.
That's alongside Danny Wilson.
Pace is an issue
A
there.
lot of the Rangers fans say is a big issue is when Wallace and Wilson play in the same kind of zone of the pitch. So if he's at right back and he's the right centre back,
Yeah.
defence is just
Aye, they're looking to push off, and then you've got Tavernier as well, who is an absolute standout on that Rangers side, but he pushes so far up, he's going to really expose.
Why are they not
Two
playing
centre-backs.
right midfield and just getting another fullback?
Aye, or even as a winger, because he really is that good. Like,
That's true. That makes sense.
or even play three at the back, and if you're really intent on having that kind of going, you could have Lee Wallace as a centre back.
Oh.
He's getting to that age.
I think the thing is for Rangers, for me, to explain the fourth finishing a bit, I think there was a mentality thing for years that going to Celtic Park or Ibrox, you were feared as a non-Old Firm team. After what they did last season, that fear's gone from most of these teams. Like, a lot of teams got something off Rangers. Aberdeen ran riot towards the end of the season. I think a 4-0 victory at Ibrox.
Mhm.
So, and that was the zone where Caixinha was just coming in, and I've not seen anything from Caixinha that would suggest to me he's going to turn that Rangers team around at all.
No, absolutely. But I still think there's enough in the tank there to overcome a lot of the kind of smaller sides in the league. And then, of course, I mean, I cannot wait for the first Hibs Rangers game. I really can't. I think that's going to be a powder keg.
Yeah, I think they'll get enough points, Rangers, to keep them in challenging against Aberdeen. Just to know more until Christmas, and then I think it will all change.
No, Rangers will be the best of the rest. I think there will be a gap again between them and Aberdeen. And then there will be an absolutely ginormous gap between them and Celtic at the top.
Well, I get that'll round us kind of nicely on the second, which Darren had.
I had Rangers, yeah.
Draft. And John and I have the correct team
Yep.
to finish second in Aberdeen. However,
Keep telling
right,
yourself that.
here's a thing, right? Say they get through this tie against Cyprus.
Limassol.
Limassol.
I'm a song, yeah.
Cyprus, that's a tough game.
Well, they're playing Cyprus would probably be an easier game, you know that. So if they get through the playoff round and they're in Europa League, this throws everything all out the window.
A little bit. I mean, you're going to be Thursday, Sunday for at least half the season.
That is a huge struggle. You know, I'm sure the season Aberdeen did well in the UEFA Cup. They finished, I think, just in the top six, but they were sixth. You know, struggling to get any points.
I never thought about that, but it's a good idea, actually. Yeah.
If
It's a
they
good
get
point.
through, it's going to be a real problem, and I would just focus entirely on Europe at that point. You know?
No, I was going to say, would you take the hit and
Yes.
just do well in Europe?
As a fan, I would. As a club, I don't think they would think the same way.
Probably not.
But you know, Europe is where the revenue is. But then it kind of cuts off whether you get a European place next season.
Well, potentially, yeah. But again, there's every chance that Aberdeen are going to get to the Scottish Cup final. Maybe they win it again. Even if they finish even, say, third or fourth, you know, you could see Aberdeen back in Europe again, regardless. I think there's enough there for Aberdeen to finish second, even if they do make a miraculous entry into the Europa
I mean,
League.
I think it was a huge kind of boon to keep McInnes out of the summer. I thought things were getting a bit tired. I was like, I'd like to see McInnes move on. I am so glad he stayed. Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
I think he's one of the best managers in the country right now, and I think Aberdeen have probably had one of the better transfer windows as well, signing some really good players. There are question marks around one or two. I think Gary Mackay-Steven and Nicky Maynard were still waiting to...
They need match fitness, and a lot of match fitness in particular for
think-
Mackay-Steven.
Yeah, Mackay-Steven, I think that'll be a good signing for him.
He's contributed well in the Europa League games,
Mm-hmm.
but wait, let's talk about God now. Ryan Christie.
Yeah, he's key.
This boy is an incredible footballer.
Aye.
I couldn't sing his praises highly enough. It sucks that he's on loan. It sucks that he's on loan. I really wish they'd driven the Hayes deal harder. But they've done alright. Getting Mackay-Steven and Christie for Hayes.
That's a good deal.
It's a pretty good deal as far as I'm concerned.
Hayes is kind of coming to the end. Like,
But you know, why don't they want to keep Christie Celtic? he's such a wonderful footballer. I don't understand how
God,
there's not a place for him in that team.
They do want to keep him, that's why it's a loan deal.
Oh, he wants to stay.
Yeah.
I think he's biding his time until one off Armstrong or Rogic leaves, and Christie will fill that void.
I think he's a different player than Armstrong or Rogic. I think he's a better attacker than the two of them, but I think they're more kind of well-rounded players, and kind of more physical as well. But see, he's dribbling. Okay, I could you know,
It's like he's frothing at the mouth here, like.
But that boy right now is carrying the team, because one of the issues I have with Aberdeen right now is the strikers haven't scored in a competitive game this season.
You're just waiting on Moult coming, that's fine.
And if they have Moult, they have 5 different strikers.
I can't see Stockley surviving, Craig Story surviving.
Miles Story.
Miles Story.
I don't rate it too.
I
don't rate them.
It's a shame for Miles Story, who had a great time at Inverness, came to Aberdeen, he's been on the fringes. He plays a lot of pre-season and done well in pre-season. It's just when it comes to the games he doesn't play, which is a shame. He's talking to St Johnstone right now.
Oh, is it?
So I can see that happening. So we'll wait and see there.
That makes sense, actually.
But one of the questions I have with Aberdeen is, Greg Stewart in as well, on loan. So is this a bit of a kind of false season for them in terms of progress? Like the team's not, fully there.
I think it will still work for Aberdeen though. Especially if they're in Europe, it's good to have these guys coming in.
Keeping our fingers crossed. They looked. They came out against Appleball and Limassol, and the first 20 minutes were outstanding, all over them. Couldn't maintain that, obviously. And then Limassol came out of the game a bit more. Christie with the first goal. It was like a dolphin header. It was
I seen it. Yeah,
beautiful.
it was
like
good.
He rose from the water, and his shiny skin. And he's got wonderful hair, Darren, as well. These curly locks. He's a very attractive man. Anyway,
I'm jealous of anyone.
Great header, but the Limassol equaliser was very akin to a Brugeg goal, and this again kind of highlights another issue with Aberdeen is their defence.
I was waiting on that.
Yeah. So the second goal was basically a cross into the box. There's a man basically at the back post, and the Logan's at the front post, and he's the right back. The whole team's just kind of tried to, and we kind of said, the guy had a lung busting run. Sometimes there's nothing you're going to do. I'm like, well, your whole team's on that side of the pitch. I mean, surely there's something to
If he's made
address.
that long a run, surely somebody must have seen it.
And Logan was looking at Gary Mackay-Steven like, what were you doing? And I was like, well,
what are you doing?
what are you
Yeah.
doing? It was a weird... the centre-backs in particular have been a problem with O'Connor and Reynolds. They've shored up that a bit with Kari Arneson coming in a bit. At 34, we wait and see how he is. But Icelandic, he's fit. It's fine. Fresh air. He's he's good.
So the yoga.
So wait and see. That is the one weak area of Aberdeen that I think I'll see them go up and down a bit during the season. And what makes us...
I'd agree with that.
What makes a Celtic challenge pretty much impossible. How far do you see Aberdeen pushing Celtic this year? Because in past years they've done it up to kind of Christmas.
What?
Well,
No, actually,
since Rodgers has come in, it's been like that.
it will take. This does depend on how Aberdeen do in Europe, really. That's the variable in all this. Celtic will probably win it by 20 to 25 points again this season. Quite comfortably. So, yeah, I would expect the same again this season.
Do we think Aberdeen can beat Celtic?
In a one-off game?
Maybe
yeah,
one game,
maybe.
yeah. Definitely like a cup game, but I'm not sure about the league games.
I think they're attacking... Those three attacking midfielders of Stewart, Mackay-Steven and Christie are the best in Scotland at that sort of system. With the pace, the dribbling. The strikers just seems to be irrelevant in front of them, which is it's a bit of a problem. So wait and see. So, and finally, at number 1, of course,
Celtic.
Easy decision there. Team hasn't changed that much over the summer. Three signings in. I think Nicham, Hayes and Benyu. I don't think we're expecting much from Benyu this year.
That's one for the future. But then again...
Well, one issue that's come up was they obviously drew 0-0. I should say Aberdeen beat Limassol 2-1 at home. Celtic drew 0-0 with Rosenborg at Celtic Park in their Champions League qualifier without a striker. And, is that an area you think they need to add to?
Yeah, suppose so, yeah. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think... I don't know who would get in, but another issue they might have is if they lose Dembele, the striker that they bring in needs to be of the quality that he has been. Like,
Well, with
they're going to
Dembele,
need the goals, you know.
with Dembele now injured,
Uh-huh.
it seems unlikely. I think Marseille were looking like the most likely candidates.
20 million or something.
Aye, just sell it. There's no worth that. But a team like that you would have expected. And Chief Chi is still apparently there.
Is that right?
Aye!
Oh,
I
never
don't
knew
think
that.
he's entirely contracted, but they were saying in BBC Scotland, like,
Training with him.
there's Chief Chi on the pitch. Why are they not play? They'd literally rather play a midfielder
Aye.
Ahead
than
of him.
Chief Chi.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like,
But do you think maybe a striker of the quality like Louis Milt, who's the name being flown about by everybody at the moment, you think that sort of striker is good enough for
I suppose in the Scottish League it would be, yeah. But
just as backup, basically?
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, it would take Brendan Rodgers' argument suggesting that maybe only having two mainstream strikers is all that's required. I'd be curious to know actually what they have as their kind of like under 20s development league strikers, what they're like. Because if they really are struggling, surely these guys are kind of ready to step in. I mean, Cal McGregor's done it. Tierney started at a really young age. Look how he's developed. So, maybe that's something that he could maybe consider as well. But
Apparently there's nobody.
or even Johnny Hayes.
I think that's what we're going to do this week.
I think they'll get away with it in the Scottish League, but if they do progress in Europe, if anything happens in terms of like injuries or whatever, that could be the difference to them getting to the Champions League, or even if they did get to the Champions League, it could be the difference to them getting into the Europa League or not qualifying.
Well, if they drop out of the Champions League, who knows what happens to them in Europa League qualifying? That playoff round is difficult. Difficult, lemon difficult.
So
wait and see.
be interesting, yeah.
I mean, Celtic have 1 to 10 on to win the Premiership.
Oh, yeah.
Which is phenomenal. I think Rangers were second. That's what I thought was kind of... That's market driven, that's nothing.
I think some good predictions there. A few wayward ones. We'll see how Hibernian gets on. I think seems to be my one.
That'll be the interesting one, yeah.
That's a little bit out there. So, moving on to the league that really matters, the Scottish Championship. Of course, to us is Falkirk Bairns. So we'll fly through this one a little bit more quickly because there's a bit less to say.
Yes.
At 10th, who do you have, John?
Probably be Dumbarton.
Ooh, who do you have then?
I have Brecon.
I have Brecon also.
Brecon were horrific. Granted,
Brecon did not look like a championship side in that Betfred. Falkirk washing them aside 3-0.
They may improve, they may not. I think Dumbarton time's up.
I have Dumbarton in 9th.
I am the same actually.
So
Between the two.
we're all similar. I think Dumbarton, they've made some signings, mainly from Wraith, who got relegated. So, not a lot of hope there. I think Danny Handling announced recently he was going there. I don't rate him at all.
No.
So, there are signings, whether they've been good or not, no. And Darren Barr's actually been doing a sterling job for Morton. Away from them. I don't know how, he's just gone up the league. And
he's a coach, under 20s coach as well.
But he's also playing in the team, which I don't think they expected to fully happen. Which brings me on to my 8th prediction, Morton.
Really? Morton, is it? Yeah.
I think this could be a bit brutal, but...
to be honest, this is like one of 8 teams could finish anywhere in the top 8, and then Brecon and Dumbarton below them.
You just don't know until the season starts, do you? I mean, Morton in recent years, 4th, 5th, and then 10th in 2013-14. But they finished 2nd in 2012-13 in the Championship, which is really impressive.
That is good,
I don't remember them doing that well in the past. So a real up and down team, which is why I've got them so low there.
I've got an interesting one in number 8.
Oh,
remember I was telling you before the podcast, I had
you've got a wild card?
Basically there was one team, there was one team in my head, right, I couldn't remember who it was, right, so I went through the league, just writing down who I thought, and then there was one team that I hadn't written in the league, and I was thinking, I can't think who this is. Eventually came back to me, right, and I never changed the layout of the league after this, I just put them straight in there, and the team was Inverness.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Inverness.
So I do think they'll be further up in that Inverness, but I thought, forget it, I'll just put them in number 8. So.
I have them at 5th.
Really, I've got them 7th.
I think they'll get it together later on in the season and come good. Because there are some good, like Ross Draper is an excellent player, is there. And John Baird will get you goals eventually. Maybe
9 or 10.
Wait and see.
I will struggle between them and Livingston for that kind of bottom half.
I put Livingston in 7th, but I have them down as a bit of an unknown quantity.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
They've had a really good Betfred Cup, but I mean that could mean nothing because we have to play them in the last 16. So Nathan Lawson will tell them a new one. So there we go.
Wait and see.
I had Livingston a wee bit higher up in 6, But in 7th, I had Queen of the South.
Ooh.
A wee bit lower down this year.
See, I've got them
Because I don't feel the Stephen Dobie effect's going to happen this year.
See, for me, Queen of the South have had seasons where they've finished 4th a couple of times in the Championship in recent seasons, so I expect them to kind of rise up a bit this year. But yeah, towards the end of last season, they really tailed off after being, real contenders for 2nd through parts of last season.
Yep.
And just really tailed off towards the end.
And they weren't great in the Betfred Cup either. So.
No, they were pretty bad.
Nah, I've got them 6th.
I had
again, I
Livingston
think
6th. So.
It'll be really, really tight in that area. I mean, you're really...
I got them 4th.
You got them 4th, yeah.
Dobie effect will start to come to an end. They haven't really made many other signings, I don't think so.
Not particularly. Nothing stand out.
I had St Mirren in 6th.
Really?
This is the hype team of the Championship with the sensational avoiding of relegation last season. Everyone's going to be having their eye on St Mirren, that first game against Falkirk at the Paisley 2020 Arena.
I think everyone involved is going to be disappointed in that game.
Well, we wait and see. There have been a lot of signings at St Mirren, over the summer. Gavin Riley went to...
No, Gavin Riley did go to St Mirren.
See, Gavin Riley, I think, is an interesting one, because a player that did so well for Queen of the South...
I went to Hearts, bombed.
Stunk at Hearts. Kind of did alright, I think, on loan at Dunfermline last.
Struggled to get into the side.
So if they can find that form, which I think every Scottish team, that's the signing kind of policy, is he used to be good, we can find it. We can do it again.
We'll hope for the best.
A season later, release. So that's the case with kind of a lot of these teams.
There's been a lot of changes at St Mirren, so it's hard for me to call where they'll come. Looking at Betfred Cup, I suppose you'd say that they're going to struggle a wee bit more, but then when they're playing the Championship, they might actually do okay. So, and these players might obviously get better as the season goes on. So,
no, I totally agree with that. We'll see how they do. Who did you have in 5th, John?
I had Morton.
I was the same. Morton.
4th.
4th, Dunfermline.
I had them 3rd.
I think the toss-up between 3rd and 4th, St Mirren and Dunfermline for me.
I think Dunfermline, they've just been building year on year. So after winning League One in 2014-15, they finished 5th. Nope, that's Morton.
No, they finished 6th last season.
They finished 5th last season.
Did they?
Yeah.
It was a toss between them Queens for...
They beat Queen of the South, and then coming on strong towards the end of the season, the Queen of the South were diving. So I kind of expect them to go further this year. I was going to say earlier, they're a team much like Falkirk. They've kind of kept the core of the squad together and just added kind of one or two bits and pieces.
They've looked okay. Certainly put up a fight against Hearts, but it's not particularly difficult.
Well, that Joe Cardle, a good finish from him.
Yeah, I was quite impressed by him actually.
See the boy
on
on
the
the bench having Haribos, like Jack or something.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He had some Haribos after he provided a pretty good assist.
Peak fitness there.
Miles Hippolyte on his five guys,
and
that wasn't for fast food. Anyway, so yeah, I think Dunfermline building a lot of good momentum there, so I think 3rd is a distinct possibility.
I've got them 3rd, yeah.
So the big two in unison, finishing 2nd in 3, 2, 1. Dundee United. Are you just saying that now?
No.
Oh,
no.
Who do you have, John?
Dundee
United, right?
Yeah.
We'll start with Dundee United because Darren's wrong. Yeah, again, it's always the top of the league. You didn't get right, Darren.
Well, I want it to be different for you. So it wouldn't be really interesting, would it, if I went the same as you? So.
That's true. Why?
Thank God. The same Tam Scobie, enough said.
I think watching that game today.
Yeah.
Yesterday, sorry.
At time of recording.
Yes. Dundee. Tam Scobie was a revelation.
Oh, was it? That's nonsense.
As captain.
Nonsense.
In that first half, he didn't miss a challenge.
He
was good. Yeah.
Nothing.
He challenged. So that the guy from Sutton Town, whose name I forget. The winger who's given him quite a lot of jip, tackled him, no bother every time, cleared the ball, looked comfortable at left back. He's a centre back.
The iceberg has sank the Titanic is quicker than Tam Scobie.
Playing in Scotland, isn't he?
In the Championship, he'll be fine.
Why are you hating on Tam Scobie? He's one of your own.
Horrific.
He's one of your own. And you'll still be chanting that because you don't have any more chance for the Falkirk Bears, at least.
Dundee United are going to struggle, both financially and on the park.
I don't know. I mean, I've got Falkirk first, right? My one concern with Falkirk is, do they have the mentality of a championship winning team?
Do they have a centre back pairing that can actually work? Is my biggest concern.
Well,
and a right back.
They haven't really been challenged pre-season at all. The Falkirk centre back pairing of either Gasparotto and Grant, or
Watson.
Grant and Watson.
It's a combination of the three.
Younger guy. They haven't really been tested at all, so that defence hasn't really had a great pre-season.
In terms of
getting a
dealing with
challenge.
that, yeah.
And when I saw McMullen today against Dundee, I was like, oof,
He was very good.
they're going to struggle to deal with someone like that.
Pace is an issue against us, but most defences are like that.
Oh yeah, and that's how you get your glory. That's what Falkirk are going for this season, is more pace.
It's the front four is, if they're all fit for the most part of the season, we've got a really good chance.
Don't get me wrong, I've been much more impressed by Falkirk this season. And I think what impressed me at the weekend was, I think I'm right in saying, John, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, in the Brecon game they had two different strikers playing. It was Miller and who else was up front actually? Austin was injured, so they had Miller and... no, it wasn't Shepherd.
Brecon, they had Miller and Loy up front for 65 minutes.
It was Loy, yeah. So Loy was playing still, but it was good to see Miller playing alongside him and Miller scoring a goal.
Yep.
Austin was obviously, I think it was injured. He wasn't in the squad.
Just like a rest really for the guy. He's played near enough every game.
And then we've seen Harris coming back into the team, scoring a goal, and he's assisting too. So I think he's actually turned out to be a good signing for them.
Harris, another one of these ones they're looking to discover previous form.
Yeah.
But there's a bit of young energy in there. I think Loy is almost like a captain of that squad. He just seems to be the motivator, the real kind of catalyst to new things for Falkirk. But you look at the Dundee United signings. Scott McDonald, he's won the league before. Who's the Hibs forward?
Keating.
Keatings. Yes, James Keating won the league before. McMullen used to play with Celtic.
That was the only reason why I picked Dundee United. And at the same time, I knew you two would pick Falkirk, so I thought I wanted to have something different. But I do think they've got a strong enough team there to win the league.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely a possibility.
They have got quite a good squad there. Quite how it'll pan out, I don't know. That's the big if.
There's bigger names than the Falkirk team have. Scott McDonald.
Oh, in terms of Dundee United, yeah, absolutely.
More familiar to more people in Scotland.
They're more established players, shall we say.
But they've kind of employed kind of Premiership players almost. Something that...
They're going for it, and that is a huge risk. There's a huge pressure involved in that. Quite whether they can manage it, I don't know.
But we'll see how it goes.
I mean, if they pull out like a Tony Andrew, then I completely change my mind. Falkirk will finish second. But if we sign Sibs, well, that changes everything. I
don't think you use Sibs though. We'll wait and see. But Dundee United are actually hopelessly unlucky because they were such a good top six Premiership side until they were crippled by the
Mackay, Stephen, Armstrong, Robertson.
The points deduction, wasn't it?
I never had the points deduction.
Was that harsh?
I actually had the points deduction.
Well, the year they finished bottom just crippled them.
They've lost a lot of players over the years. Good players.
They lost a lot of good players. Employed Jackie McNamara. No, went horribly wrong.
I'm looking forward to it though. Championship should be good. And Premiership.
Hotting up. Very, very close. So, John, now that we've done our predictions, we want to know what your predictions are for your gambling for this year. Who have you put your money on, and where do the punters want to put their money?
In terms of outrights, I don't know, I went kind of Hail Mary.
Who's she?
How are your price range?
Oh! I'm a modest gambler, me. I'll do my Soccer 6 predictions for Sky this week. £1 million on offer.
Alright, is it? Yeah.
Second times we at Sofa Manager don't have that kind of prize cash. So,
not yet.
Of course, your Premiership tip will have been Celtic, your Championship tip will be Falkirk. Who have you gone for in the English Premier League?
The English Premier League, I went for Man United. They were quite well priced, fair enough.
It's a total toss up in
the English Premier League. It's just carnage, money wise.
Yeah. I think I fancy Manchester City.
Oh, see, I would say Man City's the one team I wouldn't tip for it because they just haven't done it in recent years.
Yeah, but the signings they brought in, I think, will make a difference.
More spending on defence than like Bosnia.
That's right.
A country often at war.
How ironic.
I know.
No, I think an English Championships, it's impossible to predict. And the really annoying thing is that by no means is their squad settled in terms of Man United could sign Gareth Bale any day. Sanchez could move to Man City. That completely changes the dynamics there.
Yeah, anything could happen.
So I just do Man United and a punt. So
No, you're not far off it.
for Scottish League One, I went for Ayr. I think they'll cruise it.
I think that's a good shout, yeah.
They had Wraith as favourites, and I was like, that's a bit not.
No, I think the way
Sister,
Ayr
sister.
United have been playing.
And the Betfred, yeah, once you've seen them in that.
I went for Peterhead to win League 2. 2-1. I thought that was reasonable.
No, yeah, because Peterhead usually are in League 1, ain't they? So you'd expect them to bounce back.
I think they've invested a little bit of money at that level.
Have they? Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I thought that was quite good. And then I went I know nothing about English leagues beyond the Premiership now.
Mm-hmm.
So I went for Sheffield Wednesday to win the Championship at 10-1. It's like good odds there.
Every
And,
chance.
I'm thinking Wolves for me.
Well, they've been quiet for the last few seasons.
Yeah.
I have a soft spot for Preston as well.
in
So
ex-Valencia manager.
Yeah, you just never know
No,
with the English Championship.
it's only possible now for Portsmouth to win League 2. So
There you go. So how much do you win?
that was a 5 on, and I won £123,000, £873 and 75 pence.
Oh, the new Ferrari's on John next year. If this comes through. We're keeping an eye.
I'll be buying myself a new microphone.
That's for sure.
Love
I have a few recommendations at that price, let me tell you. Diamond encrusted. Yeah, so no. I thought about putting like a wee pound on an accumulator. I'm not a betting man, but just at the start of the season, like Leicester City to win the Premier League, you might as well, a pound is none to you, is it?
I'll be putting one on, but I'm going to wait a wee bit later than John.
Wait for that.
I thought the
You're
odds-
waiting
what
for
is
the
it?
sofa manager analysis to pick your horse.
That's
Quite
what it
right
is,
there,
yeah.
quite right there. So moving on, I've got a wee feature now about football kits.
Oh, yeah.
The new season always brings a new football kit. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about what our favourite ones are for this year, what our favourite ones were of old, and what on earth are we spending so much money on them for. So first off, I've constructed a little top 5, which I was rummaging about for in panic earlier because I couldn't remember when I'd written this down. My number 1 kit of the new season, can you guess, John?
The Aberdeen away kit.
Aberdeen away kits. Number
Thought it
1,
would be.
gorgeous light blue with a wee kind of checkered pattern on it.
Oh,
Absolutely stunning. Everyone's like, oh, blue's the colour of Rangers. And I was like, shows you how much we don't care.
yes.
So that is getting bought, let me tell you. Second, my favourite kit is the Ross County home kit. It's got like a wee tartan.
I did see that.
So-
Oh, that is nice, actually, yeah.
It's not a different colour per se. It's a very kind of mild tartan, but I think it's actually really nice.
Mm-hmm.
For
I
Ross
like that
County.
one, yeah.
Third, Edinburgh City home kit.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, that is, yeah.
So
yeah.
nice.
It's just plain.
That was the surprise kit of the season.
I'll put these up on the video, if you're listening on the podcast. But it's a very plain, very classy, elegant, and with that kind of castle logo that Edinburgh City have, it's a great wee tourist piece.
Oh, brilliant, yeah.
For somebody, if they can get in a shop on Princes Street, they'd be selling like hotcakes. Hopefully, so I think that's really cool. My 4th favourite kit is the Queen's Park home, which we saw in the league with the Iron Brew can on the front of it.
I don't like it so much.
It's a bit of a novelty.
I think it doesn't work great. It's an okay looking kit, but it's not my
It's a
cup
bit
of tea.
different. They've got kind of grey shorts.
It's a wee bit different, yeah.
It's a bit retro. And maybe a bit controversial, Celtic away kit is my 5th favourite with the green and darker green hoops.
Oh, right.
It's okay.
I'm not a big fan of it.
Okay.
I thought I'd be lambasted if I wasn't including an old firm. And I couldn't put Rangers because they've not changed their kit.
Rangers not
Because
changed.
they're actually selling them now. So that was my kind of top 5 kits. So I was wondering, what's the favourite kit in your collection that you have? We'll start with that.
For me, I've to be honest, obviously I've had a lot of Barcelona tops over the years. So like I really liked the old. I think it was like from the 2007 season or something like that. It was like the blue one, with like the collar. And
Was it like
it
Qatar
was when like
Airways?
Eto and all that was playing. No, it was just before that actually. I think it just had UNICEF on it. With the yellow on the badge, and it was really nice actually. I liked that. But there's been a few I've picked up, but it's usually like European ones, eh?
Yeah. No Scottish.
Scottish ones is usually like just the old Falkirk tops, and
I think the really retro ones look good.
yeah, aye.
And the Budweiser
2002, 2003 one was my favourite.
pretty classy. So
And I had a couple of Rangers ones when I was younger, but
2002, 2003. What would that have been like?
It was. You've never watched the highlights of the Hearts Falkirk 4-0 win. That strip.
Right. Okay.
I like that one. Yeah,
I had that.
My favourite kit.
That was my first kit.
I've got loads of cool like PSG ones that I wear. There's a really nice kind of grey with a red around the sponsor Fly Emirates, which is a bit different. It's quite cool.
Mm.
I love to bits my old Aberdeen with the Luco 22 on the back.
Oh,
You know, just
that was a good one. You liked that, yeah.
Luco's God. So I think the Aberdeen one this year looks tempting though, but I'm going to get the PSG home top, obviously with Le Mans 24 on the back because I went to the 24 hours Le Mans this year. Massive dream, but that's going to cost me £70 to do that. Hence why I've not immediately bought it. And you know, kits this year, I think replica ones for the big teams are what, 50
minimum.
But you then buy these, like, you know, Nike and things do these like non-replica versions at like, is it 90 or something like that?
When I got my Galaxy top, there was different kind of variations of what you could get in terms of there was replica.
Oh,
then
Americans
there was,
love
like, authentic, as in like it was effectively what the player wore,
that.
and then there was one below the replica which it didn't have like the kind of the MLS stitching on the arms and stuff like that.
See, when you see like folk with like badges on the sleeves, do you not just think knobheads? Like,
A little bit. I mean,
who
that,
actually does that?
I had no idea what I was buying, so I ended up buying the replica one, and it has got it's got the old MLS logo on the side as well, which is quite smart. Didn't get anything printed on the back, so I'm not weird.
It goes out of date too quickly if you get something printed on the back that's a player.
Yeah. Oh, well, I would never have done that. It would have been like...
My brother had a pocket shop with Gerard Affiez on the back. One season later. Bye-bye.
Top player though.
No.
No, my favourite kit is my Newcastle top with like Bruni 21 in the back.
Oh,
Yeah, we liked that one.
his friends gifted him for his 21st birthday.
I've
Not,
got to
not
say-
Darren and I, his other friends. Those rich pals. Very, very nice
I was
gesture.
in Edinburgh a lot.
Yes. So what do you think about paying like £50 for a kit? You know, Aberdeen kits used to be £40 back in the day, and I was like, I don't mind. I usually, when I lived in Aberdeen, bought them in the sale towards the end of the year because I lived near the stadium, like 20 quid. And I was like, aye, fair dues. £50.
It is becoming outrageous, but the problem is they do have you on a hook because you do want to buy the top, don't you? So it's crazy prices compared to what it used to be, but it's just these days. I suppose it's modern
It's fun though when you go abroad.
prices.
You know, I remember if I'd wear a Falkirk kit, you know, even down south, they're like,
Who?
what is that?
Who's this?
You know, it makes you think, oh, do you play for that team? But no.
You're like, yes, I play for this.
But it's almost like it's a badge of honour, and it's actually like a big tourist thing as well. You know, we talked about Edinburgh City earlier. When you go to a place, you get like a kit for that team.
That's true.
Especially if you go to kind of a random European team. If you were going to like Limassol
Oh, aye.
on Thursday, like for sure you would buy at least a scarf.
Well, I've got the Aberdeen Ventspiel scarf just for the novelty of it. Like, you're never going to see it again.
You would
I
buy
always
that
want to
kind
buy something, don't
Oh, aye. You bought years ago, like RCA Mallorca or something, was it? Like some random Spanish kit. Was that you? No, it was.
you? I've bought a few of them. I've got like Las Palmas,
Oh, yeah.
Malaga, Seville. I've bought a few Spanish ones.
John definitely bought a Tres random one.
He had a
I've got
Lanzarote one.
I've got
He had your
Lanzarote one.
Aye, Lanzarote.
But I never actually went to one of their games, disappointingly.
I really want, like, you know, when they're talking about the Cyprus football, like an Ayanapa top. Like, or like Real Ibiza.
Yeah.
I don't know what sort of football team that would be.
It's just for your expats.
Really cool. So no, I don't like paying £50, but by the by, speaking of bigger European teams charging extraordinary amount of money, let's talk about the pre-season, Darren.
Pre-season, yeah.
Which you've already told us about. I forgot to click save.
But no, just one game I like to cover off because John loves this tournament so much.
What tournament's this, Darren?
The International Champions Cup.
No comment.
Just the one game I wanted to cover off, just watched it the other night there, and I stayed up to watch it, right, and it was 1:05 in the morning.
You got TiVo, no?
Now you know what it's like to be a 24-hour motor racing fan. That's all that I'm saying.
So this is the reason why I want to talk about it, because I stayed up to watch it. So, yeah, it was Real Madrid versus Barcelona, Barca winning 3-2 in the end. Quite competitive, but it is a derby, I suppose, So, well, yeah, but you know what I mean. So
Jeez, what? Cap your snarky attitude. Darren stayed up till 2 in the morning for this game, and you're saying, "Is it a derby?"
It's not a real derby.
Yeah, look at him, he's backwards cap, thinking he's cool down. He's a bully. Don't you listen to him?
It's a bad hair day.
Anyway,
so the goal scorers were Messi for Barca, Rakitic and Gerard Piqué. Messi and Rakitic got the couple of goals after 7 minutes, actually. Quite amazed, a couple of goals in 7 minutes for Barca. It seemed to be
Rakitic a bit of an unsung hero.
He is, yeah, and it's a good strike actually. Bottom corner, really nice build-up play to that. And then for Real Madrid, the bounce back, Kovacic and Asensio with the goals there. I tell you what, Asensio, I'm going to be watching out for him this season because he's got the pace. I think you watched him
he's world
once,
class.
didn't you?
Yeah,
John.
Odegaard, whatever happened to him? He was supposed to be the...
Well,
that's true, yeah.
he must be 18 or 19 by now.
19, I think, yeah.
He's boost.
But yeah, Asensio, I tell you who should be worried, Gareth Bale, because I think he will take his place in the team.
Who did he...
Well, is this not to do with like Mbappe as well, maybe coming over?
Mbappe's
Well,
in contract.
if Mbappe does, well, the rumour was actually that if Mbappe came to Real Madrid, he would go back out on loan to Monaco for a year. So that would be interesting.
Yeah, that's really
the
interesting.
rumour I heard was he was in contract extension negotiations with Monaco.
Yeah.
That would solve that
issue.
problem, because beyond next year I don't see him staying.
No.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that happens. But I watched obviously that game and I felt Gareth Bale was, you wouldn't even know he was playing really. I think it was the full game he played. It was. And he just,
in that Real Madrid.
like, don't get me wrong, he pops up at times, but I think he's starting to lose his pace a wee bit now too.
I think,
and that was his key thing.
Yeah, no.
Really? Yeah. See, when you used to see him for Wales and even Tottenham, he just used to have that leadership quality about him. And I don't think he's ever fully settled.
Look, he's always in like Ronaldo's shadow. Yeah. That was his biggest problem. If he went to Man United, he would be absolute star man.
He would, yeah.
He doesn't want to come back.
He's definitely enjoying life in Spain, and that's why he wants to be there.
That silly haircut that would never look right here.
No.
But you saw him, like, Mourinho's had some back and forth about him, saying, we're not talking to him. And he's like, fine then. Because they've been asking about him all the time. So, no, that's interesting, actually.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing these two. They're playing the Super Cup soon. Gerard Piqué getting the winner. The one thing for Real Madrid though, Sergio Ramos went off at half time, so they did lose him. So he was so they did.
That's Pepe.
Not got him to worry about anymore. He's away to Besiktas.
Not Rangers. Portuguese, I thought.
Wrong Pepe. I thought maybe another Pepe went to Rangers.
Pepe, that racist wee frog cartoon.
What?
Isn't that?
No.
It's called Pepe, isn't it?
I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Off
topic,
yes.
So that was that. I also watched a bit of the Emirates Cup this weekend. Back with a year off last year.
Actually, please talk me through this because I am so confused.
It is confusing.
Don't you get a point for every goal you score?
Yeah, that's right, Paul.
Hard to understand there.
I looked at the thing about Seville won all their games and didn't win the trophy.
Yeah, that's right. Aye. So it was quite interesting because they didn't win down to goal difference, Arsenal, because they had the same goal difference as Seville.
Yeah.
They won down to goals scored. So because Arsenal scored more goals in the tournament, obviously that's why they won it. But they were on equal points. I think it was 9 points in the end, both teams. So but then it goes down to goal difference, but goal difference was the same. And then the last thing was goals scored. So Arsenal had scored more goals, so they won it.
Arsenal winning the Emirates Cup. That's
it does sound it.
Well, they're sponsored by
Fly Emirates and the stadium.
Yeah. It's quite funny. I can remember actually one of our friends, Ross Penderleaf, back in 2000.
Mistaking him for me.
Terrible, eh? But yeah, back in Fort Ventura, I think it was actually. Back in 2009, we were watching the Emirates Cup. We went in the afternoon to watch it, and they were playing Arsenal, and it was Rangers they were playing.
How times change.
Yeah. And I can remember Jack Wilshere and Aaron Ramsey just being amazing in that game.
How times change.
They were really young in that. And I was looking back at the stats today. They lost that game, Rangers, against Arsenal, but in the other game they actually won. And it was Buguera that scored for them.
Oh my jeez.
And I think it was Atletico Madrid they were playing. So
who was it? Was it him or something that tipped someone to come to Rangers because he played with them previously? One of the guys that came in.
Is that right?
Apparently. I don't remember who, but someone.
But I don't know if you heard who else was in the Emirates Cup, but Red Bull Limestick was
Leipzig?
Yeah. And the other team was Benfica.
Also an Emirates team? Or have
they
been in the past?
Yeah, they have been in the past. I'm not sure if they still are, actually.
I
don't think they are, no. But it was Red Bull Linestick that got a win today over Benfica, 2-0 win. And they also got beat yesterday, Benfica off Arsenal 5-2, I think it was in the end. But Seville did get a victory in both games, 1-0 over Red Bull yesterday.
Having that fine wine to say.
And they got the 2-1 victory today. Nzonzi with a nice finish, by the way. Nice
He's turned into a cracking player.
In Spanish football, he suits it really well.
Yeah.
He's won European trophies, which he would have never done. But imagine if he was still at Blackburn, playing alongside Charlie Mulgrew. I mean, doesn't get much worse than that.
The one thing I would say is it was on the most random channel ever. It was on Quest. Which I would never have found unless I had looked it up. But it was so funny because basically it ended, so we were thinking, they're going to come on and show them getting the trophy or whatever. No, just cut straight off onto Wheelers Dealers or something like that.
Scheduling was bad.
But hey ho, they showed the Emirates Cup, which I was surprised Sky never had it on because they always usually show it. But
they're too busy showing Chinese football.
Well, that's true.
Which is apparently about to collapse.
Is that right? Yeah.
Well,
13 teams are about to fold apparently.
I did hear that. Yeah, take it back. And then
John, this money-grabbing world of football is going to...
the beginning of the end.
And then just the other couple of pre-season games, Scottish-based actually. Celtic had a 5-0 victory over Sunderland yesterday. On Saturday.
Alphabet Cup! The cup that nobody cares about.
20 years since the Stadium Alley opened.
Oh,
Did you ever hear that story? Apparently...
Is it a long story?
No, it's very short.
Okay.
Everybody piled into the Sunderland's new stadium, waiting to hear the announcement of the new name, right? Big guy comes on stage and goes, right, new name of the stadium is the Stadium of Light. Silence. One guy in the crowd just went, what a crap name.
Comedy moment. I heard 9,000 Celtic fans there.
Yeah. And McGregor scored a hat-trick, I think. So.
What did he?
Yeah, so might be trying to get a place in the team, obviously.
So they're looking at Rosenborg saving the players.
Forrest started up front as well.
Yeah, that's what.
And she's not even chief J. They still won't play.
And obviously Rangers were playing Sheffield Wednesday. And I think it was Windass. Yeah, it was Windass and Kenny Miller on the goal sheet now.
Windass maybe working his way. Do you know how many Rangers fans were at that game today?
4.
9,000 a game. So
that's good time.
Rangers fans have 9,000 away fans to choose from. Interestingly enough. So.
And then the last thing I just wanted to cover off was French League obviously starts this weekend.
Does it?
Paul?
It does, John, yes.
But just at the weekend there we had the Super Cup for France.
Trophée de Championnet.
Yes.
Champagne.
And did you hear the result, Paul? Yeah.
It was 2-1.
2-1, yeah.
Yes.
2-1 to PSG.
I'm a big PSG fan. I was all over the game, don't you? Tell me about it.
Did you see the Dan Alves
goal? I mean,
yeah.
A stunning goal from
You seen this, John?
No, I haven't.
Quite far out, wasn't it?
Yeah, 30 yards actually. 30 yards.
Some distance.
Yeah, he's going to be a top side.
Yeah, so good start for him there in the Cup. But yeah, so French League starts this weekend, so I'll be looking into that. I think it's the only... Actually, no, German's next again week. It's the Super Cup for Germany this weekend.
I've seen Derek Ray tweet about it. He's doing the commentary. Is it Borussia Dortmund rather than... Sometimes it...
Super Cup.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So it'll be Dortmund and Bayern Munich?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So mix it up a little bit. Dortmund with a new manager. It'll be interesting to see how they go this season.
I'm hoping to get to a few games in Germany.
So he invited the Germans here to watch a Falkirk game.
Well,
very kind boys offered to let you go back and see a Dortmund game, which is
in exchange.
But yeah, difference.
Yeah, it's a bit like saying, I bought you your first car. It's like a wrecked Ford Fiesta, and they hand you the keys to a Veyron like a year later. It's a very contrast. So very kind of them. It's all very interesting. We're getting back into football. And I swear I've never seen more football in my life over the last few weeks, despite it being pre-season.
Looking forward to it.
So, I think that rounds us off then.
Indeed. Well, apart from our predictions, of course.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yes, predictions.
Quickly fire
Can't
them
forget
off,
that.
Right. First one, Celtic versus Hearts.
For me, Celtic to win 2-0.
Is that all?
That's all.
Darren?
I will go for 3-0, John.
You know, I'll go for 5-0.
5-0?
Ah, come on.
Tell you what, it could happen.
Anything could happen, Darren. Rangers could finish second. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think I could see a 5-0 victory.
Right, next one is Hibs versus Partick.
Oh, Hibs, what, 10-0? Nah. I think Hibs will win 2-1.
2-1.
I'll go for 2-0 on that one, John.
2-0?
To Hibs.
I'll go for 2-1 as well, to Hibs.
Yeah, big copycat. What's our third game?
Third game is St Mirren versus Falkirk.
Typical bias bear.
Okay, then.
I'll go for 1-0 Falkirk in this one.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say. I'm going to stick with my guns and go 2-0.
2-0. Right. I went for 2-1 Falkirk.
Never know. And our second to last.
Game number 4 is Albion Rovers versus Ayr United.
Why?
Because Ayr have been flying, and Albion had a really good Betfred Cup.
Very good. Ayr 1-0. Guess.
I'll go for Ayr 3-1.
Well, I did the same. I went for Ayr 3-1.
I've done these predictions. This is not right. Last game.
Is Livingston versus Dunfermline. Oh, it's a tough one.
That is a tough one, actually.
1-1.
Ooh.
I'll go for 2-2.
So if it's
I was going to say 1-1.
I think Dunfermline will squeeze this 2-1.
1-2 then.
1-2.
Awesome, so I play along with us here by Dan. You'll see our predictions on the Instagram page. We also have a Twitter page, which John's very proactive on Facebook, and Sofa Manager Europe now on Instagram as well. So give those a follow. If you enjoyed listening to the podcast, give us a like and a subscribe. It helps us a lot. And do the same on SoundCloud, which will go up this week. So thank you very much for listening from me, Paul.
Thanks for listening, everyone, from Darren.
Cheers, guys. You better save this, Paul.
Man! I'm a Jamie Langfield.
Clangers.